In Colombia, magistrates of the Special Jurisdiction for Peace charged 6 former leaders of the extinct FARC-EP as those most responsible for the recruitment of more than 1,800 children in the country between the years 1971 and 2016. From Bogotá, our correspondent Valeria Cardona with the details.
The footprints that can be seen in the background of the table of the Magistrates of Chamber for Acknowledgement of Truth of the Special Jurisdiction for Peace belong to some of the 951 victims who this November 13th heard the reading of the order imposing 6 former members of the last Secretariat of the FARC-EP's extinct guerrilla as maximum responsible.
We are before a judicial decision elaborated from the voices of courageous and resilient victims, who after years decided to break the silence to tell their tragedies, from those who as children were forcibly recruited by the former FARC, who were robbed of their innocence, their childhood, their education, their games, and their dreams. To the relatives who are still looking for their missing loved ones, to those of 5 indigenous peoples affected by these behaviors.
Hasta aquellas de 5 pueblos indígenas afectados por estas conductas.
The testimonies of these victims were collected by the Special Jurisdiction for Peace for 8 months to be contrasted with testimonies and images from of the participants and other sources such as the Colombian state in Case 07. The only one of the Special Jurisdiction for Peace dedicated to determining crimes related to recruitment of children and adolescents in the framework of the armed conflict.
This order is very important to the extent that for the first time it defines the individual responsibility of this criminal phenomenon, describing it through a very judicious contrast in determining all those war crimes committed within the framework of the armed conflict and which affected children and adolescents.
After the thorough investigation carried out during 6 years by the Chamber for Acknowledgement of Truth of the Special Jurisdiction for Peace, the magistrates were able to determine that the most profound affectations of the victims who are now adults derive from the permanent exposure to death, anxiety and suffering generated by different forms of violence.
The court determined that the children recruited suffered the loss of the essence of childhood and the annulment of the possibility of forging their own identity. They were denied emotional, social, and educational tools that are crucial to project life in society. And their experiences within the ranks left them with deep emotional scars that remain today.
Taking into account the effects on the victims, which the Special Jurisdiction for Peace concentrated in 5 macro-criminal patterns, the decision of the transitional justice system charged Rodrigo Landano, Paul Catatumbo, Jamie Parra, Milton Tonsel, and Julian Gallo as the maximum responsible parties for the facts of Case 07, who reiterated their commitment to justice and reconciliation in a joint communique. They have a maximum of 30 days to accept or not the charges against them. Valeria Cardona, teleSUR, Bogotá.